just ignore that. So what other things might be of interest to you? The new list maintenance, I kind of talked about that already. This was the first year that we were required to do that particular type of list maintenance. We've always been doing list maintenance. And what list maintenance mostly consists of is getting lists from the post office. What we have found is when you move from one state to another, or one county to another, or even one house street to the other, you're not very good at telling us. But what you are really good about is making sure your mail, the USPS knows to move your mail. So we get a lot of our information about where and when people move from the post office. Another thing that I think you'll be interested in is there are currently definitely 2 amendments on the November ballot. That'll be one that will require all school board members to run in a partisan race, declare as a Republican or a Democrat or independent, the right to fish and hunt, marijuana, the legalization of marijuana for personal use. That one currently was challenged. The state attorney general challenged it. It was heard by the state Supreme Court in November. We haven't heard what their ruling is yet. I assume it'll probably be this month that we'll hear that. And then the last one is there is an initiative petition going around for abortion. It basically limits how far the state can make abortion illegal. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not really an expert on it, but it makes it viability. It sets viability as the time in which the state can set a law for it. Right now, they need approximately 890,000 petitions in the state of Florida. They currently have 860,000 verified, and I know our office has about 4,000 of them that they just gave us to verify, and we're 1 of 67. They have said they have enough out to get on the ballot. I believe that they're probably right. So the Attorney General has also said they're going to challenge this one. So I'm sure that will go to the Supreme Court as well for their determination on whether it can go to the ballot. But right now, those are the 4 amendments that you would likely see on your ballot. The legislature can always add more, though. So there has been talk about a couple others, but I haven't seen any bills or anything on them specifically.
What's the deadline for
The petitions had to be in our office by today. We have to have them verified to the state by February 2nd. So like I said, we got 4,000 in the last week and a half. We have 30 days to verify. So only going by what the person who turns them into our office has said, they said that they have more than enough outstanding across the state that they're pretty confident it'll hit it. Again, they only need 30,000 more. They got 4,000 sitting in our office waiting to go through the process. They've been seeing about a 60 to a 70% acceptance rate. So out of the 40,000 we get, 2,500, 3,000 would probably be good. They only need 30,000. Chances are pretty good they're going to hit that number. Whether it'll go through the Supreme Court and pass that's someone else's job to tell. Yes?
What is the right to fish and hunt all about?
No, I don't really know. Generally speaking, it has something to do with counties and municipalities cannot limit your right to hunt under certain waterways and state-owned property, something like that. I'm not really that sure on it. I don't know, someone else in here might be more. The state legislature put that forward as a constitutional amendment last year, and I honestly just didn't look into it that hard. Vote by mail. I did talk about vote by mail a little bit. As you probably are aware, all vote by mail requests that we had on file expired the end of 2022. At that point in time, we had over 100,000 vote by mail requests on file. To date, we're at about 38,400 vote by mail requests. So does that mean only 38,400 people are going to vote by mail? No. It means that they haven't heard about it yet. They don't care about it yet. They're just not interested yet. Nothing has sparked them to re-request that vote by mail. Is it going to get back to 100,000? Probably not. My guess is for the general election, it'll probably be in the 70,000 range. It's kind of what we're expecting. But again, that's kind of anybody's guess at this point. We're really not sure. And that's kind of, I do have one other thing I'm gonna talk about because it came up at the table I was sitting at, but there's a young gentleman here named Preston, and he asked basically, how can I be involved? And he's 14, so he's still a little young, but one thing that a lot of people don't know is at 16, when you get your driver's license, you can also register to vote. You can't vote until you turn 18, but you can do what's called pre-registry. And once you're pre-registered to vote, you can be a poll worker. So a program that we've been trying to get off the ground and push forward is having what we call student poll workers, where usually it's the 11th and 12th graders, but at 16, you're legally allowed to do it. You can come and work for us as a poll worker. And we found that the ones that we have done, we've had about 100 students over the last 4 years go through this. They love it. It gets them out of school for a day. They get about 100, I can't remember, it's $125 or $150 pay for that day. So they get a little bit of spending money. And then they also get a few hours of community service, thank you. So most of the students love it. Our poll workers love it because they have a young, fresh face in there to help them out and to give them it. So if you have any kids, grandkids, friends, family, and they're of that 16 to 18-year-old age, and they're still in school, they can be a poll worker and have them contact our office. We are trying to work through the schools as well. The schools are kind of hit and miss how much they'll help us get into it. Usually there's a teacher who's like a civics teacher or something like that is where we get our best help in the schools, but it is something that we're working on. So, and I know Jack May has expressed some interest in helping us out in that as well. So that's all I have for now. I'm sure I know this group, they have questions, so I'll answer what I can.